For our final presentation, we chose to talk about Canada. The primary reason that we chose Canada is because of the relationship that it has with the United States. Doing business in Canada has many similarities to the US. Canada also has an older workforce that is very skilled, which is called the aging effect, which I will touch on later. So what are we analyzing? If this country is healthy or not. Factors will include GDP, unemployment, inflation rate, government spending, fiscal policy, debt, and trade. For the GDP, which is calculated by the country's income, expenditures, and value added, and the real GDP in 2016 for Canada was $50,231.90. The real GDP in 2016 for the US was $57,466. Canada is currently going through an expansion from zero to a growth rate of 0.4% within the past 5 years. Also, Canada was worth $1,529 billion in 2016. The GDP value of Canada represents 2.47% of the world economy. GDP in Canada averaged $616 billion from 1960 until 2016, where it reached its all-time high of $1,842 billion in 2013 and the record low of $40 billion in 1961. This graph shows the past 10 years. In 2007 was at $48,552.07, which is as low in 2009 at $46,543.08 to 2016, which was its highest, at $50,231.09. The GDP for 2017 has yet to be calculated. Unemployment. It is currently headed in a positive direction. It dropped from 7% in 2016 to 6.48% in 2017, which is currently the lowest unemployment rate in the past 5 years. So like I said earlier, it is going through the aging process. People are entering the workforce at a later age and retiring at an age of 62. The bulk of the population is an older workforce. The labor force participation rate at 65.5 to 65.8 this year. This graph shows the past 10 years as well. 2007, it was at 67.4, dropping to 2017 at 65.5 to 65.8% this past year. For the workforce, the service-producing sector has the highest employment at 14,246,000 jobs. The lowest employment industry is agriculture at 289,000 jobs. Retirement is at a normal age of 62. However, the age of the people working the workforce is older. So there are currently more women in the workforce than there are men. For the inflation, it is measured by using CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which is based off consumer prices and goods over time, which is similar to the US as well. The inflation rate is currently at 1.4%. It is experiencing inflation due to the rise since 2012. The inflation rate over the past 5 years is shown here. In 2012 at 2.5, and currently now in 2017 to 1.4. For the government spending, it increased in spending over the last 10 years. These next numbers will be in Canadian dollars and in millions. So in 2007, it was at 300,000. 2017, it is currently in 360,000. For the corporate tax rate is at 26.5% from 34% 10 years ago. Personal income tax rose to 33% from 29% 10 years ago as well. This reason is because new fiscal policy increasing taxes on middle and low income Canadians, as well as federal tax benefits. So for fiscal policy, it is determined mainly through federal government and provinces. It is also important to note that fiscal policy in Canada is pursued by a plurality of governments. This is due to the Canadian federalism and the existence of different levels of government. At national and regional, both national and regional governments enjoy the power to decide their own budgets and levels of spending, as well as taxation and borrowing. For the debt, government debt to GDP ratio in 2016 was 92.3%, and the United States ratio was 106.1% in 2016. The predicted GDP growth rates of 1 and 0%. Current growth is at 0.4%. All this is capable due to Canada's flexible and competitive economy. For trade, exports of goods have decreased due to lower exports of motor vehicles and parts. It increased expenditure abroad. However, this appreciated the Canadian dollar. The trade deficit decreased to $1.47 billion as of October 2017. Exports increased 2.7%, while imports decreased 1.6%. The top export destinations for Canada is the United States, China, the UK, Japan, and Mexico. It's currently the 9th largest importer in the world, with top import being cars. In conclusion, Canada has a strong economy. It is very sustainable to open a business in the Canadian region. It also has a wealthy economy.